Welcome back to the Rated R Pod. I'm Elizabeth,
And I'm Alexis.
and today
We're just gonna have another little chit chat about Jesus. We didn't really have a topic going into it, and it was kind of hard, just like kind of thinking of something. Well, we had a few options, but like none
we're
of them
like,
really.
yeah, let's just have a chit chat.
Yeah, we just have another chit chat. But yeah, Oh, praise report. Forgot
You go
about
first.
that. I go 1st.
Mhm.
Praise report. I preached tonight, and I got through it. I was really stressed about going into this message, just with everything going on in my head. Anyways, but I got through it. I didn't get through it because God got me through it, thank goodness. So yeah, that made me feel a lot better and just like, oh, weight lifted off of me, and yeah, I felt really good about it.
You did really good. So,
Thank you.
congrats on your accomplishment. I have to burp.
Thank you for taking that away from the mic.
My praise report is that Dustin's home, and that's all.
He's home. Liz was away from Dustin for like over a week, and I felt for her in such a sad way.
Yeah, we were like, Ellie kept telling me, "Oh, if you need to hang out, like, just like let me know." And we didn't hang out once.
We didn't hang out once, and every time she snapped me, she was like, I was like, oh my gosh, I should probably reach out to her, but I'm like, she'll be okay.
Yeah, I was okay. Like, usually when Dustin's gone, like, I end up crying one night because I miss him.
Mhm.
But I didn't cry this time, so I said he has to buy me flowers because I didn't cry. And he still hasn't bought me flowers, so if you're watching this,
Kick a rock.
kick rocks.
Kick a fat rock. Literally.
All right.
But yeah, do you have anything to start out? Because usually I
Let me
piggyback
think.
off of you.
Let me think. Well, we just got out of church.
We had the last few services have been amazing.
Yeah.
I was just telling Elizabeth and Dustin how like I felt like the last few messages have just been so like needful. Not that the other ones aren't, but I just well, I should start out with this. This is something that's really been like on my mind too. Like prior to the last few services, I'm in church, I'm listening to the word, but I'm like, I feel like none of these like apply to me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, I don't. Is something wrong with me?
Mhm.
Like type deal. Because I'm like, why am I not getting anything? You know what I'm saying? But like, I want to apply it, but I'm like, I don't know how to because I feel like I'm not going through that. But now, like recently, I have things kind of going on, and now like the words have just spoken to me so much, and like it just shows like God's gonna give you an answer even through different type of words. You know what I'm like saying? So like he's gonna give you exactly what you need when you need it. So like don't become discouraged if you feel like God's not speaking to you in a way because he will give it at the exact right time when you need it the most. And that's so cool about God. Like even when we don't see it, he sees it, and I love him. Like I really love him.
Great guy.
Great guy.
I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, there's a lot of expectancy in the air.
Yes.
Do you feel that? Or, like, I just, like...
This, yes!
I just feel like everyone keeps talking about in their messages good things are coming and, like,
Mhm.
expecting and all that. And I just feel like I'm just on the edge of my seat waiting
For it to
see
come,
what God's
and
gonna
like,
do.
yes, like something like, like a huge like explosion type thing, like fireworks everywhere. That's how I'm feeling it's gonna come.
I know. But I don't want to
Like hype it up in
hype
such
it
a
in my
way.
head, because the problem with me is I will like see things the way I want them,
Mhm.
and then when they don't happen that way, I'll get disappointed, even
Yep.
though like good things are happening.
The good things are happening in such the smallest ways, and then you
Mhm.
can look back and say, "Oh, God already moved in that," like,
Yeah.
type deal, which is so cool. With
I'm
that
just
long,
excited.
yes, with the expectancy thing, like it's like it stinks because I feel like prior to the things that God is bringing forth, we hear it, like Miss Sun talked about. Like, the devil is going to try everything he can to stop what God is about to do
Mhm.
and stuff like that. And that's why, fight, fight, fight.
Yeah.
So, like, continuously getting on you in the Word, dropping on your knees and praying nonstop. Like, I never heard that story that she shared in Judges about the battle and stuff like that, and that like really stuck with me because I'm like, I feel like I'm praying, but I feel like I'm not getting the results I want. But it's so important to like keep going, keep doing what you're doing. Like obviously, sometimes we expect an answer just like that after you pray, and you're like, God, why didn't you answer? But it's in His timing, not our time, because He has a timetable and everything set out in the way that He wants it done. Because it's not in our strength, but in His strength that He's going to get it done and accomplish it. And trusting in that is so much easier said than done, but doing that, because at the end of the day, we're going to see Him do some marvelous things. And that's something like, in the midst of the chaos, the situations, and everything you're going through, don't look at the defeat of it, but look at the victory that's going to come out of it, which is something that's helped me kind of like when I feel those feelings of feeling overwhelmed and stuff like that, that I'm never going to get out of it. Like, God's going to get you through it when you continue to lean on Him, because He is our rock, He's our strong tower, He's our refuge. And it's not in our strength, but in His strength that He's going to get us through it.
Yeah, we were just talking Friday night at prayer because Allie was telling me like about things she's been going through, and then I was like, yeah, I feel like ever since we started the podcast, I feel like a target has been on my back, like as far as like feeling attacked in ways that like I felt like I had overcome
Yes.
before that, and then once we started the podcast, it all comes right back up. You know what I mean? And then Allie was talking, just kept telling me about all the things, and then what'd you say? You were like, well, I feel like this is a good thing because that means the enemy knows that God's about to do something good. And so
exactly.
we can keep that in our minds. Like
Mhm.
Steven talked about it today, and like Dustin talked about it. Like when the enemy is attacking, it's because he knows that God's about to do something. So that can give us hope while we're going through the battle.
And it's amazing. Like, it stinks that you're like, oh, this is gonna come out in such a great thing.
Yeah.
But then like you're in the midst of it. But so it's important to have that mindset. Like, victory's coming, freedom's coming. Don't allow the enemy to steal that from you and prolong it. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to prolong the victory that God has set out for you and the things He's going to do in our life. And it's so true, like what Elizabeth said, like us doing this podcast and stuff like that, it brings like almost like an oppression type thing on you, which stinks.
Yeah.
But again, I love this verse, how like there's going to be trials, there's going to be tribulation in this world, but no, like I have overcome the world. And we can rest in that, knowing like we have the power of God in us to stand against anything that the enemy's going to throw at us. And it's super good to know like we're being attacked because we're doing the work of God, type deal. And because of that, it shows that we're living right. Thank goodness, because I don't want to be right. I don't want to be a person who has everything figured out and becomes complacent thinking they're doing everything right. But I'd rather be walking in the will and calling of God, even though there's going to be attacks and things that may come up. Like, we can't grow discouraged in that, but be encouraged. I was listening to, oh my gosh, this brings me to, I was watching there's an international youth conference on TV that my dad had on. And this guy super good. I don't know his name, but he was super good. But he was preaching on how like we can't allow discouragement to keep us down, but use that as motivation to keep going. So like use the discouragement in your life as motivation to keep going, and use it as encouragement to know like you're doing exactly what God wants you to do, but the enemy will do anything to try to pull that away from you. It was so good.
Yeah, that kind of goes along with what Steven said this morning. He was like, you can allow what you see to get you discouraged, or you can allow it to motivate you. I feel like sometimes I struggle with that so much, like just seeing everything that's going wrong, and I'm like, man, this just sucks.
Yes.
Like, this is just the way things are, and like everything's bad, blah blah blah, and you kind of get into like a self-pity party, like, God's not for me. But like maybe God's just waiting for you to do something about what you see. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like motivate. He's trying to motivate you to like actually take action. Yes. And I wrote something down from what Dustin preached about when he was talking about First Kings 19, when he was like, Elisha like threw everything that he had and ran after Elijah, and he was talking about how God gives us strength for the terrain that He puts us in, but He does not give us the strength to carry the things that He tells us to lay down. I thought that was so good. Like, He gives us the strength to go over the rocks and through the valleys and like the sharp turns, but He's not giving us the strength to carry the things that He already told us to put down, because we were supposed to put them down.
Yes, they're supposed to be down.
To keep carrying them. So why would He give us the strength to hold on to something that he knows is just going to weigh us down
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day.
Great word, Dustin.
Great job.
Yeah, that's good. Great stuff.
I also
Yeah.
liked what he said about like the youth.
Yes.
And
Oh my
how
gosh.
there's such like an agenda against the youth.
It's so true.
And it's so apparent, like obvious.
It's so true. And I don't know, it just like everything I see in this world, it just feels like it continuously gets worse. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't stand watching the news. I
No.
I absolutely despise watching the news. I'm sorry for everyone who likes the news, but I refuse to watch it longer than 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Cuz there's nothing ever good that comes out of it, which stinks, but it's true. Like the enemy is out to literally continuously blind unbelievers and then try to tear down the believers to blind them too and get them away from the word. So with that being said, I think it's in Second Corinthians where it talks about how there is a veil over the eyes of the
I was
believers.
just gonna bring that
About
up.
yes, there's a veil over the eyes of the unbelievers. So it's like don't allow the enemy. I preached on the veil. Don't allow veils to go over your eyes in your heart with the lies and everything that the enemy gives you because he wants you to be in that place to continue to bring you down. Yes, to not see what God has. And continuously pray for the unbelievers that those veils are lifted. And that's something we have to have that burden for, I feel, especially now more than ever because time is short.
Yeah.
Like, so short. Thank goodness for us believers because I am sick of this world. But, like, it's more than ever, like, we have to pray and have a burden for the lost because if we don't share what we know that brings life and truth, who will? And yeah, do you have anything going off with the veil thing? Or
Yeah, I was just listening. I think it was a Forrest Frank
the
song.
Forrest Frank
actually,
song, yep.
That was talking about how a veil was over his eyes. He said that he was an atheist, and then one day he just like prayed to God in his car, and nothing happened right away. Like he forgot about the whole like interaction he had with God, and then that night when he was reading his Bible, he said he understood things in a way he didn't understand them before, and then he said that that's like an image of how God lifts the veil over from your eyes when you become a believer. And so, yeah, I think it's important to keep that in mind.
Yes.
Like, these people are not, like, well, they are willfully doing wrong, but it's not because they know the truth. Well, some of them.
Some of might, yes.
But, like, I'm just saying, like, it's important to keep that in mind. Like, they have a veil over their eyes. And
yes.
unless people tell them the truth, then that veil will stay there. And they'll just keep doing wrong.
Yeah. And I really like that how he brought out, like, he could discern and have, like, he understood the word more when he went into the Bible again and stuff like that. And that kind of brings me to think, like, how important it is as us more than ever again is to continuously ask God for that wisdom and understanding because and it says in James 1 verse 5 to ask God liberally for wisdom and he will give it to you. And we need it because when we have that wisdom of God, we know what to do, where to turn to, and how to keep fighting. And that's through the word and prayer every single day. And he gives it to us freely and as much as we want, as much as we ask for it, that he's going to give it to us. And that's super cool. The God who created the heavens and the earth is willing to give us all the wisdom that we can desire when we just simply ask him in prayer about that. And yeah, the enemy is out. So out and about looking to destroy us. Out and about. That boy doesn't sleep. Let me tell you, he doesn't sleep. But our God doesn't sleep either, and he's gonna work. He's gonna work overtime just as much as the devil's gonna try to work overtime.
Yeah. I feel like the devil works overtime, and God's just looking at him like,
"What are you doing? Why? I'm still working too. I already have the victory over you. Yet you're still trying."
Yeah. One of the podcast ideas I had that I told Allie was, "Are you in position to be used by God?"
Oh yes,
and then I was thinking like I asked myself that question. I had that thought when I was in the shower, and then I was thinking to myself like, am I in position to be used by God? Like, if He asked me to do something, would I have the ability to do it? And then I was thinking about that again. And I was like, I shouldn't be looking at myself, asking myself if I would have the ability. Really, it's just about like the obedience of if God asked me to do something, would I do it? Yes or
Mm-hmm.
no? Because He will give me the ability to do it.
Yes. Yeah, that's good. Wow. I really like that.
Shower
Yeah.
thoughts, man.
I love shower thoughts. Don't even get me started with those.
Yeah.
It's so true because like though we feel like we don't have the ability to do it, God will give us the capability to do it, which is super neat. You know what I'm saying?
Super neat.
Super neat. Because like
super nifty.
Super nifty of him to do that. Because we hear it all the time because it's not in our strength but in his strength that we're able to do and go out in the boldness and the authority that he has given us, that he went at the cross and stuff like that. And yeah, I never thought of that question, like, are you in position to be used by God? And sometimes I feel like I'm not. Like 100%, like I feel like I'm not. Like I need, like, the cool thing about also being a Christian is like there's no stopping. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no stopping. Like there's no like set point. Like, oh, I reached my point where I need to be with God. Like it's a continuous thing to keep going, and he like more levels and levels that he has for you. But along with those levels, again, comes those trials and tribulations to continue to keep making you grow, which is super super cool once you get to that point. But like in the midst of it, it may be hard. But like, man, it's gonna be great at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I really liked what Steven said about how like what God did before, he's gonna do it again, but even in a greater way. I really like that.
Yeah.
Like we have not seen anything yet what God has in store, which is like brought so much like happiness in me.
The thought of seeing a real life miracle in front of my eyes,
yes,
like, is actually crazy to me.
Yes.
Like I just want to see something like
crazy happen type.
Like somebody's arm just like grows back
yes.
or something like that.
That would be so cool.
I feel like I would actually go ballistic.
No, literally. Like I don't know how many times during church or like revivals I've always thought like I really hope like Collis just like is completely healed.
Mm-hmm.
That's my like I've always wanted to see that. I don't know why. It's always him. I don't but like that's like what you're saying, like I want to see something is crazy that seems so impossible that God does it, and like that just creates a crazy faith. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's the fact that it doesn't, like, thinking about that, I want him to do it, but it's the fact too that he's already done things like that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that is what drives my faith to be like, well, why couldn't he do it again? Why wouldn't he do it again?
Because he's the same God, right? Like he will do it again. If he did it back then, he's gonna. Oh, if he did it before, he could do it again. We're gonna get copyrighted.
Sorry.
Oh, I had something in my head, but now I forgot.
Take your time.
Okay, let me think. Ever stop. Man. Ah, that's gonna bother me now. Advertisement. I wish an ad would just pop up.
We should give people some music song recommendations.
Oh yes. I mean, if you guys are into like little rap, little groovy songs, listen to Forrest Frank's new album.
New album, so good.
Probably the best thing I've listened to in the last probably 6 months. I'm not lying to you.
Yeah. Me and Dustin have been obsessed.
Like there's so many like songs to like get like a little groovy with, but then there's also songs that are like so slow and like so intimate.
Yeah.
And I love it.
And he has like a few on there that are just like talking.
Yeah. Oh my! I love talking with like a little beat in the back.
Yeah.
I love listening to Listen to Child of God. That will make you like.
Yeah. The album's called Child of God, right?
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. The album is called Child of God, and like this one like talking one is called Child of God, and it makes you realize like how God adopted us into his family, knowing all the little things that are kind of like, how do I say it? Like the things that we struggle with and the things that we go through, the sins and everything, yet God still will take us into his family. Like there's no like limitation that can make God not choose us, which is super cool. And like shows just the love of him is so great. Ugh, yeah, I'm sorry. That song almost made me, like, that thing almost made me cry.
I know. I almost cried in a few songs too. But then the next song is like, you're like, oh.
Yes, you're like, wait,
let's dance.
let's dance.
Yeah, it's so good.
Oh, I have something.
What?
Recently in just like worship and prayer, I struggled to like be 100% transparent with you the last few months. Like I would be in prayer and I felt like I wasn't able to feel anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like I felt dry boned. Like I'm praying and I was like, I just want to feel God. Like why don't I feel him? Type deal. But recently, every time I've been praying, it's just been loads of tears that like feel so refreshing. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, I just feel like I need to share that. I don't know like where it has to do with anything, but like
No, that's good though.
it's like he's pouring out something that I need
Yeah.
very badly.
Yeah. I feel like we all go through times in prayer where it's just like you're kind of just praying because
Mhm.
you know that's what you
Yes.
should do. And then there's also times in prayer where it's like
Whoa.
you feel God like more than you have before.
Yes.
Something someone said one time was like, so many times when we pray, we just ask God for things and like tell Him all the things that are bothering us, which is good things.
Mhm.
But like, do we ever stop and listen for a response from Him? And I was like, huh,
Yes, that's so true.
I don't think I ever have.
I know. It's just like I feel like it's always just us talk, 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 talk all the time. It's like, could you imagine sitting at a table with God, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're just there complaining about everything in your life. You're crying, asking him to do all this stuff, and he's just sitting there listening. And we don't give any time for him just to talk to us back and give us the answer that we need.
Right.
Because we're so busy and consumed. And that's like,
problems.
yes, by our problems. And then this has been one of my biggest prayers while I'm praying. Because I'm like, God, help me to decrease for you to increase. Because with that, then he's able to like, that's like me like telling him, like, God, please just start speaking to me because I need to hear. Like, and then like kind of feel like I hear something, and then I kind of feel like that peace again. So it's like, yeah, it's super important. It's just like, shut up in your prayer and allow him to talk.
Yeah. I feel like in the last few months, not few months, I think before I got married. No, I felt God like not speak. I've never heard God speak to me like I want to, but like, you know when you hear a voice in your head and you like know it's God?
Yes.
Because like I wouldn't have thought of that.
No, yes.
And it definitely wasn't the devil because it's a good thing.
Yes.
Like, that's what I love. I'm like, wait,
I
see her to be from God?
Wait.
It makes me giddy.
Yes. Like, tell me this. Okay. Riddle me this.
Okay.
Like, when you feel like God's speaking to you, like, what is your, like, tell me if I'm wrong, if it might be different for you, but, like, when I feel like God's talking to me, I feel like my body's just, like, completely, like, almost like in a numb feeling.
Still.
Yes.
Still. Like
my mind is, like, you know, like, 2 Timothy 1 verse 7, it says, like, and have a sound mind. Like, I feel like I'm in that sound mind in such a weird way.
Yeah.
That I literally just hear, like, I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm working.
I've only, like, had that, like, experience, like, maybe 2 or 3 times.
Well,
That's all I
hey.
was praying.
Is it like such a weird feeling? Like you can hear like there's no way like that would come from me.
Yeah.
Like what you said. And it makes sense to like, oh my gosh, this is God talking to me. He's talking.
I start like giggling and stuff.
I'm like, wait. Hi. Sorry I was talking this last half hour.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Oh, I had a thought.
Sorry, did I just ruin it?
But I like just forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, me and Dustin were talking because he went to the youth convention and he was talking about how have I like not been in frame this whole time?
Wait, where were you sitting before?
Oh, yes.
No, you're fine.
Okay. He's talking about how when he went to the youth conference, like people were praying for each other. And like young people were praying for each other. And then we were talking about like we don't really do that like much here. And then he was like, I want to be able to like pray for someone not just speaking in tongues. And like I struggle with that too. Like
yes,
I want to be able to like pray out loud words and like not have to because speaking in tongues is great, but like sometimes I feel like I use it as a crutch. Because I don't know what else to say.
Feel convicted right there.
It's just not a bad thing, but
no.
like I want to be able to like speak
yes
things into existence like with with my voice. You know what
Yes,
I
and
mean?
like with like a boldness and confidence, knowing like God's speaking through you with everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
you don't have to think and be like, I don't know
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But like just like allowing it to flow out of you type deal. I know
Mhm.
exactly what you're talking about. And like coming with like with that prayer and like I feel like it's important to practice it. Like even on your own. Just like in like when you're spending quiet time with God. That's like I feel yeah, I feel like majority of my prayer is me speaking in tongues and stuff like that, which is great because it's our secret language with God and everything. But then
Mhm.
again, I feel like it's important to also hear what your prayers are too,
Mhm.
and like knowing like yeah, this is what I need, this is what I need type deal, and it gives you that like boldness and confidence because say like what if you're say you're at the grocery store and you come across someone and they ask for prayer, like are
Right.
you just gonna
That's what
go
I'm
out and
saying.
like speak in tongues over them, which would like you know what do it like if you have that boldness
Yeah.
and confidence of doing it, but like
But you want them
you
to
want
know
to
what you're saying
yes
too.
yes because you want to also build them encourage them up and knowing like this is exactly what I needed and like they can know like that was definitely God speaking through them and show like the power and the love that God has through us for them.
Ooh, you know what we should do a pod on? The different like gifts.
Ooh, that would be
Like
good.
gift of interpretation and like that kind of
Yes,
stuff.
that would be good.
Cuz I did like a class, I forget what the class was called, but it like went through the gifts
Uh-huh.
for like a good chunk of it.
Yeah.
So like I
Oh,
could
that would be good.
yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
No like or comment on that because we're gonna do it anyways. But
It's
sorry.
so funny.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else?
I don't know. I feel like we hit a lot of stuff.
Yeah. I love the chit chat ones.
I love the chit
'Cause then
chat.
we
Like
just
it's
get
so
to
much
like
less stress.
we get to just
Not
say
that
whatever we
stressful,
want.
but like
When we do like a specific topic, we have to stay on topic, and we're
yes,
not
and
good at that.
we're never good at that. I feel like
Yeah.
we're more of a chit chat, like go with the flow, like let God give me something and say it type
Yeah.
deal. I feel like that's what he
I
does
have a
for us.
question.
Okay.
Sorry. It's sorry. No, I was just gonna ask, like, what's something that you're excited for? You know what I mean? Like, as far as like God.
Like my spiritual life or like in the whole.
Well, actually, just say whatever.
My can I say both?
Yeah, go
My
ahead.
spiritual life is me gonna get like through like what I'm going through right now in my head, like knowing like God has something big for me and like
Mhm.
that's something like I can't wait to feel that breakthrough and that victory in that and knowing like I'm gonna get through it, but I have to continuously fight and fight for that and knowing but then also like what God's gonna do on this earth is gonna be 10 times more crazier than we ever could think of and like I'm excited what he's going to do in our church because I feel like something's breaking in our church
Yes.
100% right now and that's something that gets me super excited so just continuously like receiving what he has is super important and allowing it to work through you and become undignified in it like not worrying about what others think and stuff like that is me and Elizabeth were talking about that recently too like sometimes we allow ourselves just to become so worried about what others might think of us but at the end of the day we have to be more concerned about what God thinks of us because we're going to be worshiping and praising Jesus for eternity anyways in heaven so like why not do it right now if
Yeah.
you're concerned about what people think of you on earth how are you expected to do that in heaven for eternity
Mhm.
and that's like something I try to keep my mindset as like I don't care. I don't care what Elizabeth thinks of me. I'm sitting right next to her. I don't care if my voice cracks while I'm singing because I do that quite a bit. But like,
Yeah.
as long as I'm praising and singing to Jesus, like I don't care because that's what makes him happy.
Sometimes I feel bad for you and Dustin because whenever I'm like speaking in tongues, like
I
out
love
loud,
when you speak in tongues.
I
It
feel like
gets
my
me.
voice gets so like annoying,
No,
annoying tone, and I'm like, whatever.
no, I'm not even gonna lie to you because I was gonna tell you this. I'm like when I heard you this morning, I was like, wait, it got me excited. Like I was like, Liz is feeling it right now. I'm feeling it right now. I hear
We're all
it.
feeling it right
We're
now.
feeling it.
I love when you can tell that other people are like when you're like in your zone, like getting into it, and you can tell
And
other
then you
people
feel
are
like
too.
something shifts.
Yeah, and
It's
then
like
they're
something
like, and then we're
shifts.
like, oh, we're on.
Okay,
we're
wait, so we're all
sync.
synced. So God's right here. He's right in front of us. He's moving. That's what's happening. Oh, it's so good. Yeah. What are you excited about?
I'm excited for lately. I've just been wanting to like live more like freely,
Yes.
like carefree. I told you that the other day. Like I just want to be more carefree because I feel like I'm so again, worried about what other people think, and like worried about how my actions might affect like yada yada, like A, B, and C and D, like just like I don't know. I just want to be
Yeah.
more like free
Mm-hmm.
in my like everyday life. And something I'm excited for too is the land.
Oh yes, the
Because we
land.
basically got prophesied that it was coming soon.
Oh, it's coming. That is
Soon
so
as in
exciting.
this year, like hopefully.
Yes. Oh, it is, Liz. We're speaking it. It's already spoken.
Like we know it's coming,
Yes.
but like last time didn't Hadassah like
Yes.
basically say it's coming
Yes.
this year?
Yes.
Am I wrong?
I feel like yes. I feel like that's right. And like just like knowing like, can you imagine when we're building?
No, that's what I'm
Right, so
saying.
it's like,
I'm looking
wait.
picture that in my head. I'm like, wait.
We're building something we've been waiting for like I don't know how long.
Yeah.
But now and like when that lady already told us no, the fact that like no, God said yes, and it's here. Like, where's your no now?
Yeah, I just wonder how God's gonna do it.
Yes.
Like I just wonder.
Oh, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah. Whew. Sorry, you gave me goosebumps. I forgot about that. Oh my
It
gosh.
gets me so excited thinking about it.
Mhm.
I just don't know how I'm gonna react.
No, like literally.
Someone tells me I'm gonna be like, wait.
Let me tell you what God did for us.
I might run around Mayville.
Yes. I might roll down the hill. I don't know. Like
I might climb that tree over there.
I might climb the church and dance. Like I might lose a few limbs like David.
That's so funny. All right, should we do our word of encouragement?
Yes, word of encouragement. You want me to go? I always do. So yes. We do that every time. Like why do I say that knowing like I'm gonna go first? Word of encouragement. I mean, you know, keep going forward in what God has for you. No, I preached on this. Like, He's never gonna leave you empty handed. He's gonna give you exactly what you need to be equipped with. And everything is in his hands at the end of the day, and he's not going to send you into something without his hand being upon it, so we don't have to fear or think like, God, where are you? Like, he's already there. That's the thing. He's already there, and he already knows what he's going to do and what he's going to accomplish through you. So you have to continuously give him the trust and allow your faith to be built in that, knowing like he is for us and he's not against us, and he will never leave us nor forsake us. And that's something I've been really trying to rest into. Like, he's literally right next to me right now. And like that's super cool to think about. Like he probably has his arm around me, like, hey, what's up? Like it's like knowing like he's right there in the midst of it. And like even when you do feel surrounded and stuff like that or overwhelmed, no, like he's also around you with his angels fighting everything, but you have to give it to him. Like it's not in your control or in your own strength, but it's you have to allow God to do it. And that's something Brandon brought that out in his Sunday school message I walked in on. Like sometimes we try to do everything on our own, and that's where we get like so discouraged. And like, no, you have to give it all to God, give it all to him and let him do the work. So yeah, and like continuously put first God, put God first, and everything else will fall into place in your life. But yeah, that's what I have.
So then I was thinking about like while you're talking was like I feel like sometimes we, or especially me lately, I feel like God is taking things out of my hand. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But like he takes it out so he has room to put in what he
that's
wants.
good. That's
and
good.
Like, that's what I've been reminding myself lately. Because I just feel like, yeah. Anyways, my word of encouragement is, I think my word of encouragement is, if you're someone who like struggles to, because we were talking about how we want to like pray out loud. If you're someone who struggles with like praying for like long periods of time, like when you want to spend time with God, my encouragement would be to like write your prayers down.
Oh, that's good.
Because I feel like since I was like 13, I've had like a prayer journal. I have like 10 now of like full prayer journals.
I love
because
that.
I just write my prayers down every morning. Because I really struggle with like expressing my feelings or like telling people how I feel, even like God. So I feel like writing my prayers down helps a lot, and it's like encouraging because then you can look back and be like, "Yep, check mark. He like figured that one out and stuff like that." So
that's really good. I never had a prayer journal before, but now I kind of might want to do that.
Yeah.
Because I'm so used to just like, oh my gosh, I feel overwhelmed. Just like, boom. Like, you know what I'm saying? Which isn't a bad thing, but like, I feel like I like what you said. Like, it allows you to see like what God answered and go
Yeah.
back and like he did it already, and now I can rest in fact like he's gonna answer this next thing that's going on type deal. But yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like it allows me to like slow down because when I'm writing, like I think faster than I write. And as I'm writing, like something like a complaint to God, I'm like, but like it like just like changes
Mm-hmm.
like my prayers sometimes to
Yeah.
God from like a complaint to like a request or like a thankfulness or something like that. So
Love,
that's my word of encouragement.
love that.
And that's the end of this podcast.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back. Also, we're deciding that
Yeah.
we're not gonna do it so like
Oh, sorry.
so
I thought you were
scheduled
gonna say
like
something
on a,
else.
oh sorry.
ahead.
Well, if you have something, we're not gonna do it so scheduled, but we're gonna do it kind of spontaneous when we feel like, oh boom, we have something, like we're gonna go film it right now type deal if we're
Yeah.
free.
Because
Yeah.
I was texting Allie the other day and I was like, I miss doing it whenever we felt like we had something to say. Because now we just do it on Sundays, and not that it's a bad thing, but I feel like we like kind of force a topic, and
Mhm.
then
Yeah.
like it wasn't really what we were. Yeah.
Supposed
Anyways,
to talk, yeah.
and next week we'll have a special,
Oh.
or maybe two.
Oh, maybe
special
two
guests.
specials.
So stay tuned,
Super excited for that one.
and thank you for all your support
Yes.
and views and likes and comments.
We were so shocked by the last episode with how much views we got.
Yeah.
So like it went like from 40 to 150, and we're like, wait, is this a glitch?
People are still watching.
Yes. I was like, we filmed it like 7 days ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, super thankful for you all. So thank you for allowing us to keep doing what we feel like we're called to do, and prayers are appreciated.
Yeah.
Because, like Elizabeth said, we feel like there probably is a target on our back. So continue to help us and like helping us push forward in it. So